This is how you load a Ricoh Auto-Half SE2. This is a very interesting half frame camera, and you'll be able to get 72 rolls out of a roll of 36 film. So in order to begin, all you have to do is flip it over to the back. On the side, there's a little button here that says open. You simply slide that downward, and that will open up the back just like so. Next, take your roll of film, and your winder on the bottom here, it kind of moves it a little bit, so you can kind of get it into an easy place. Right inside, there is kind of two sides of this. There's two parts. There's this front side here that has two rivets to hold it in place, and there's a little bit of a hook here. And then you come around and there's another version of the exact same thing. So what you want to do is you want to slide that film underneath the first piece, and then you're going to kind of try to hook it. So there's kind of this little hook that comes around and right in there. It's a little bit difficult to see, but now it is trapped and is a little bit underneath the piece of metal here, and it's caught on that rivet. You can see over here, you have your pressure plate that will apply to the film itself. So maintaining this pressure, you do want to do a little bit of twisting on here, just like so, to make sure that it's nice and ready for you before you pull it back. Now, before you're able to load, you will need to create the space for it to slide into. So simply pull this bottom piece out and it'll drop into place. And then you can release it, and kind of, sometimes it takes a little bit of finicking to get it to go back into the right spot. And that's now ready to go. At this point, you will need to do a little bit of winding here, like this, going back and forth, until it engages as such. Now the door is ready to be closed, and you can start taking your pictures. For the Ricoh Auto-Half, this camera does not use a battery. It works entirely on a mix of a winder, and then also the slinging meter here, which is kind of like an early solar panel. What you do is you then would twist it a bunch of times in here to get it nice and charged up, so that when you take each photo, which I'm going to do simply here, I'm just going to cover it so I can save this film. And now I took a picture and it's ready to move on to the next one. And you can hear that every time. Usually if you do a full set of twisting this a bunch of times, you have to wind it twice over the course of one roll of 36 or 72 photos. And then you would be able to do that. But personally, I end up just kind of like twisting it every once in a while. But I also try to push this button here, which releases the pressure, releases the tension, just like so. And what that does, I usually do that when I'm packing the camera into my backpack, but it'll minimize how many accidental photo frames you're going to take, just like that. Then when you get to the end of the roll and it won't move any further, what you need to do is you need to move this knob around, and there's a little bit of an orange sector. So this orange sector, you need to match it up with the orange arrow, and then you would push down that same release button one more time. Oftentimes I found myself needing to hold that, and then as I began to wind, I simply would wind this up. I can feel the tension building, and we'll continue doing that, all the way until the film is back inside the canister, at which point I would simply open the back, pull this back out, and it's ready to go. I hope that's helpful, and enjoy using this very unique camera.